crazy. So Yvette and Darling, thank you guys. Can't thank you enough. Diane, thank you. I, you're a wonderful person. Kresha, thank you. And we really got to do a video together on this whole Mormon thing. I don't know if you're paying attention, but there's a lot of women knocking off their Mormon husbands. So one of them, I think we should see if there's a connection to Melanie Gibb or David Warwick. I think that would be really interesting endeavor. So I hope you will consider, working with me a little bit on that. Jerry, thank you. Appreciate you so much. Angelique Diamond, thank you so much. You're amazing. And let's see. Can't say that name. I can't say that name. Okay, these other people, it's their real names, and I don't want to say them. Okay, I don't want to, I can't say those names because those are all real names and don't want to open that can of worms. So all of you got this. Here's another thing too. So the super chats and stickers that you guys give. I know DB and hey, Alley Cattails, welcome. Hey, Blissful, Cinnamon Hot, and Lady of Angels, Black Rose. I mean, there's a lot of people, but I have not ever gotten into that money. So Google pays the creator, I don't know, sometime once a month. I don't. Sometimes toward last 2 weeks of the month. I don't know which date it is, but I really haven't used any of that. And so that was kind of what I did. I kind of went crazy, and I mean it wasn't a lot, but so thank you for the microphone, the arm. I also got a little computer that was on sale. It was like I think it was $365. So it wasn't fancy, but it was exactly what I needed to have, like just a dedicated YouTube studio. And then because I got a computer that I won't be unplugging and plugging and unplugging and plugging all of the components, I dug out Bill had bought me an Elgato Stream Deck, but it was a mess. You'd get it all set up and everything, but then when you would unplug it, then I would have to like reprogram all the buttons. So it was crazy. So this way I get to use my Stream Deck when I have time to set it up. So that will, be coming. So just want to, hey, Sketty Nona, you've been a big friend, big help and friend. So thank you. So here is my thank you video. All right. I know I've said it before in some recorded stuff, but not live. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm really appreciative. So what is the topic today? Is her food killing her? I think it's something like that. Well, I'm not talking about me. I've done 1 or 2 previous videos on Foodie Beauty. You have to be really careful about doing those types of reactions videos because it can seem like you're piling on, right? It can seem like it is an easy target, and it's not. I think it's the only video I've ever done with Foodie Beauty, or it's possible that I did like 2 videos around the same time. And have not done any more. And then now this one. And the original that I did was when she was preparing to move to Kuwait to be with her love, Salah. Now, I took a pretty hard line on it. Y'all know I lived in Egypt for many years. And I had a business. We made Egyptian cotton sheets. And so I was accustomed to working with everybody that was working in the factory were Egyptians. And so I got to know a lot of the culture, and he is from Syria. He's not Egyptian. He's from Syria, but they are Islamic nations. And that tends to govern, Egypt is technically secular, but let's face it, they they're following Sharia law. But anyway, without getting into all that, so I took a very hard line on it, and I cautioned. She had Foodie Beauty. Her real name is Chantal. So Chantal actually did come into the live as we were doing it, and she was very angry. I mean, she was, she was like, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." And I thought, well, with all due respect, I know more than you do because I lived there for a long time in the Middle East, in a a country that's 95% Islamic, and it was the birth of the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood is not, a boys' club. It's it came out of the Egyptian prisons in the 20s, and they're a terrorist group, and the people. The Egyptian nationals will tell you that the Brotherhood is a bad group. So, I cautioned her, and I said, you've really got to do some soul searching and ask yourself, what does Saleh get out of this? Like, he's from Syria, big problem, and he's living in Kuwait, bigger problem. And what's his job? What does he do? And why is it that he's wearing a t-shirt and he's got posters on his wall of the revolution fist with the Islamic colors, right? There were things in his original apartment that I looked at and I said, yeah, I know who you are. I know what you're doing behind the scenes. And I'm fairly certain that the government knows who you are too. And so I believe that when Chantal came into the live, I think I even said, you should probably check with the Canadian government to see if he's on one of the lists, in reality. So, but she was angry. I don't blame her. She's got a lot of hate channels, a lot of fan clubs, I guess you could say. But it's easy. It's low hanging fruit, right? It's easy to bully somebody, that is. We all have personal challenges in our life, but the majority of people understand that you shouldn't put it out there for public consumption. It just makes it messy and it makes it harder to fix. But she doesn't do that. I think it would be safe to say that a great deal of her life is spent online, and that her friends that she has are really online friends. And so I think that translates into, if she has an emotion, it gets put all over YouTube, and then the hater channels pick it up and comment, or reaction channels pick it up and comment. And it's sort of like this vicious cycle of abuse and trauma, right? Just goes round and round. And then you'll see the reaction channels. They'll be like, oh, Chantal, she's so bitter. She's so angry. Yeah, but if you had somebody that was watching every move you made and doing hate videos, it would also breed anger in you. And so there's that spiral, right? It's just a snake eating its tail. It just goes on and on. So this is not about Chantal in terms of, she's so annoying, or she's so angry, or she eats too much, or whatever. That's not what this video is about. It still is about the mess that she finds herself in, that she's a Canadian citizen who has isolated herself in an Islamic country, not just an Islamic country, but a Gulf state, which is where the hardline Sharia orientation came from. If you had visited Egypt in the 70s or even the early 80s, Cairo was very much like France. I mean, all the women are gorgeous. Persian women are beautiful, and they were high fashion. Like they had the big old hairdos and the beautiful dresses and diamonds and jewels, and they were a very, very fashionable, forward, contemporary type of culture. And then the Gulf Arab states got a lot of power and control through oil and I guess their version of royalty. And so that hardline Sharia began to bleed off into these other, well, they're supposed to be secular states. Syria too is supposed to be secular. They're hanging on by a thread. But that influence of, really tough, pious religion began to take influence, and now women are just cattle, they're just property. The incident of plural marriages is, as poverty increases, so does plural marriage. So does child bride issues. So it's a real problem. And if you've never been over there, you've just gone over there to see the pyramids, it's very hard to understand how truly dramatically different the culture is between the educated and the uneducated. So listening closely, there was no sign that Salah is educated at all. If for all intent purposes, it does seem like, just from things they've said, it seems like that he came from Syria as refugee, or worse. The other option, if he's not educated, if he doesn't hold a technical skill, then he's either refugee or he's a paid member of the Brotherhood or some offshoot of the Brotherhood. And they pay well. Don't get me wrong. So, my question was, how is it, if we're being logical, how is it that Chantal, who is making a lot of YouTube money, a lot, how is it that this young woman meets this guy online? He convinces her that he's in love with her. He converts her to Islam. And then she goes to Cuba to meet him for the first time. I think that's what happened. I could be wrong, but that's just a guess on my part. And then the first time she meets him, literally the first time she meets him, she marries him. She travels to Syria, stays with him, they get married. Boom, done. There she is. I think she's come back to Canada once, maybe twice since that original trip where they got married. When she came back, she just further obliterated anything left of her life in Canada. She alienated her best friend. She got rid of her apartment. She doesn't really have much of a I guess you could say a positive relationship with her family, I don't think. I'm not really an avid listener. It was very disturbing to me, coming from my personal experience being there. I know that my driver in Egypt, young 20-something guy, and he said that he and his friend group, they're all looking for American, German, or Canadian women, that they don't care who it is, because that's their ticket out. And so they use the internet, and they try to find women that will be seduced, online or whatever, and then they hope that that's how they get out. That the laws for the United States and Germany and Canada are really, really open to marriage and then family members being brought. So it's common. Well, I did the live. I told all this, and of course, her reaction was, "You don't know what we're talking about. We're in love. Sala is the bomb." I'm like, okay, but my conscience is clear. If I hadn't said it, if I hadn't made the video, then it would have bothered me, right? Because I would have been like, well, when things go off, course and things get crazy, then I'm going to be thinking, oh, I wonder if someone had just reached out and said something. I wonder if she wouldn't have done it, but she did. And she even came into the live while I was doing the live, and she was very aggressive, not aggressive, but negative. She was frustrated, but I get why she's frustrated. So I'm good. Now I peek in every now and then, right? Hey critters, good to see you. I peek in every now and then and kind of watch, what's going on. And so earlier this week, late one night, I peeked in, and she was saying that she almost died because she went on a food binge, and she ate so much steak that she almost died. And so then 6 hours later, or 8 hours later, now she's saying that all she's had to eat the whole day was water, and that she's going on a water fast, and she's going to do this for 40 days and 40 nights. And I said, oh my, this is not going well at all. On top of that, Lucy said something about Egypt. Hold on, let me see what Lucy said. My brother travels a lot, told me he asked for directions from two women, and a guard ran up to him because foreign men can't talk to their women and their faces were completely covered. And had your brother touched one of them like that, like, excuse me, if you physically touch one, even just the slightest, he could go to jail. It's bad. Not in Egypt, but in Kuwait, the Gulf Arab states primarily, they were having trouble for a while because there were doctors that had been brought in to try to help with healthcare, and there were men that were refusing to let Western doctors treat or deliver babies or treat their wives. It was bad. It was bad. That happened while I was there. He cannot possibly be educated to be with her. Yeah, Lily, I watching. He had lots of the revolution fist in the Islamic green. A lot of the Palestinian houndstooth scarves. There was a lot of indication that he's probably a freedom fighter. Get it right. Not terrorist. It's a freedom fighter. Okay. I'm not going to get into the politics. Okay. So there was this 40-day and 40-night fast. She went one day of water. Of course, she got sick. I mean, she's probably taking in 10, 12,000 calories a day, maybe more. And then she goes to water for 12 or 18 hours. Of course, she got sick. That's just silly. So then she says, well, no, I'm going to eat. And then she says, well, now I'm on this diet where they mail you your diet food, right? She's going to be on this 1,200 calorie commercialized diet. That lasts a few days. And then when I peeked in last night, she was eating Applebee's, and I got sick. I'm not using hyperbole. I'm literally got nauseated. I had to fast forward through the video because it was just eating, and it was enough food to feed a family of 4. literally. It was actually shocking how much food it was. I don't think Bill can put away some groceries. I don't think he could have eaten even a third or even half. It was unbelievable. But anyway, so I had noticed on the previous video where she had the water fast, where she was talking about the water fast, I had noted a lot of people were talking about how swollen she is, and she is horribly swollen. When she first moved over to Syria, she had lost a lot of weight before she made that trip. You know, she was in love, right? She made new friends because she had converted to Islam, or she was in the process of converting to Islam. And so the ladies were really supportive. That was the other thing that sent my, alarm bells just pealing madly. And that was that suddenly with Salah coming in stage left, from stage right comes all these new friends and these new acquaintances. And I was like, that's the brotherhood. That is the brotherhood. That is exactly how they operate. That they have been doing that. That is their way to attract people into their organization. And the way that they keep people into their terrorist organization is to provide health care, dental care, loads of free food. And I'm talking about real food, steaks and hamburger meat, the real deal. And if you're a starving, hungry person living in Garbage City, literally that's what it's called. And suddenly somebody shows up at your doorstep and they're bringing you, a rack of ribs from a cow, and they're going to give you, 500 American dollar, the equivalent of 500 American dollars, and your children get to get their teeth cleaned and repaired, and you get health care. Why wouldn't you think that they were saviors, right? So when they attract people, those people are really loyal to them. And if accidentally your young child happens to accidentally end up in an explosion, then you get a great deal of money, and that makes the young men feel really great that they might be able to help their families out of financial poverty. So it's very complicated. They don't feel like they're terrorists. Don't get me wrong. They don't think they're terrorists. They're trying to get into heaven, and they're trying to secure a better way of life. And they feel like their governments have betrayed them in exchange for those governments to sell out to Western governments. And can we be honest? We could just say that the Bush clan didn't exactly treat them well, right? So, we are not without some blame in this political evolution, for sure. But for just an individual person who's trying to navigate this landscape, it's hard to judge and to understand what you're seeing unless you've been there a while and someone's explaining it to you, right? So there were a lot of red flags, and I talked to Bill about, because the whole Egypt thing for Bill has been 20 years. I don't know if maybe it's been 15, but he's worked over there. I mean, he knows these people. And so, he was like, oh yeah, he's totally in it. So I don't think he is educated, judging by, for one thing, hey Sleuth Mom, welcome. Good to see you. Judging by the apartment that they had when she first got over there. I don't know how many of you guys have been watching, but it was literally one little room. And I don't think my desk would have taken up half that room. So it's a very small little room. They had a little love seat in there, and I don't even know if there was a TV. And then I suppose there might have been a bedroom, or maybe there was a bed in the corner or something. And then the kitchen was very, very, very typical for, one of these housing projects where the majority of people live. And it's just, you got a little burner stove that's hooked up to a propane bottle and a little sink, and, that's what you got. And so that was when she first moved there. And I thought, oh gosh, this just keeps going from bad to worse, because this is Kuwait. Kuwait's got some beautiful mansions, villas, really pretty apartments. I mean, it's not poverty stricken like much of Egypt and, Cairo. Kuwait, Dubai, these are very, very nice cities, very modern, So when I saw his first apartment, I thought, golly, this is not good. So I didn't watch for a long time, because, well, why would I, And so then I kind of started peeking in, and then I got disturbed. And then I found out they got a new apartment. And so I don't think I've seen where they've gone live in the apartment, but the lobby for where they walk in and walk out, I saw that, and that's all I needed to see. They're now in one of these really elegant and beautiful high-rise buildings, and they're cash. It's expensive. So I'm saying, oh, okay, so Salah suddenly becomes a surgeon? Like what? How are you affording this? What's happening here? And so I thought, okay, so this is about the YouTube money, right? And that is where, let me put this up on the screen so y'all can see. Okay, so this is Chantal. Now, I will say this, don't be surprised if she comes into the live, because I think she just kind of monitors if anyone's using her name. And then she comes into the live and yells at everybody. Okay. So this is Chantal. And I was struck by how swollen she is. Lots of people have, but in the this is not the 40 days 40 night video, but in the 40 days 40 night video, it was very easy to see that her eye over here was, well, you can't see that because I'm on the wrong there. Her eye over here was swollen, and she looked like she had a black eye. Right now, everybody was talking about how swollen her eyes were, and she is carrying a lot of weight now on her forehead. And I mean, it's really sad. I think she's gained 200 pounds in 6 months. It's crazy when you look at her size when she first got there compared to how she is now. So, but I do think with the 40 day, 40 night video, it was a lot more swollen than this, and you could see the bruising, right? So he's training her. There's also a video. I've got to control myself. There's also a video where the two of them are sitting on a sofa, and she's sitting back quiet and meek, which is not her. She is very extroverted, right? But she's sitting back, she's quiet and meek. She's got her hands folded in her lap. And he's leaning forward kind of close to the camera, and he's got chicken leg. And he's eating the chicken leg. And he's just kind of like, so good. And she's sitting there and she's going. And then he takes a piece of chicken off and holds his hand just like that. He doesn't even like hand it back to her. He just takes it off and puts his hand kind of like that. And she leans forward and takes the chicken and begins to eat it. And I wanted to punch him in the head, because what he is doing is he is teaching her obedience, right? She also is doing a lot of talking about that there's honor in silence. So it's a terrible thing, to be right, isn't it? So I think she's in trouble. I really, the eating is really a deep concern, and you'll see why in just a minute. But I wonder, is he not allowing her to leave? I don't know. I don't know if she would leave, even if he would allow it. I don't know if she would, but I don't think he's allowed. I get the feeling that maybe she's locked in the apartment. I also wonder if he's gone all night. He stays gone all the time. It's a rare thing for him to actually be there. And like there was one video that she did, she was sitting and talking. I think she was eating, and she was sitting and talking, and you could hear the door open. He came in, and she just sort of, watching him walk. She didn't really smile. She didn't really frown. And then I guess when he looked at her or said something to her, something happened. And all of a sudden she was like, really beaming. And then immediately, and kind of quit talking. And then I guess eventually he left the room. So it is disturbing. Something, is disturbing. So I was thinking, okay, so all of this eating she's doing, is this emotional, right? Is she in trouble? Because there's no gummies, there's no marijuana, THC, nothing like that, no alcohol. And so I was wondering, why did she go from really eating healthy and losing a lot of weight before she went to where she is now? Like what happened? Could there be another explanation? And so that's kind of where we start. But I wanted to comment on this video. I don't have my notes with me, so let's listen and see. All right, so let's listen.
I'm not giving my cat away for a man, and it's not just a man.
Oh, this was kind of funny. So there's a big cat drama, BBJ. So BBJ is an old cat, and well, he wasn't cared for properly. Like his nails, his claws grew all the way till they were growing into the pad of his foot. Okay. So this old cat wasn't treated well anyway. And she ended up, I hadn't quite figured out if she just simply gave the old cat away. This was a cat that was in Canada. If she gave it away or if she had it put to sleep. I kind of think she had it. There were several times she said she was going to have it put to sleep and didn't. So I'm thinking now maybe BBJ is gone. But anyway, now in Kuwait, she gets a new cat and a mouse. I think it's a mouse or a gerbil maybe. But now she's amassing these animals like she did in Canada and didn't take care of them. And so now she's in Kuwait and she's starting to do the same thing. And so people are really angry with her. Julia is the new cat. And Julia's adorable. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful cat. So you're going to, if you fall into the foodie beauty drama, you're going to find out there's a lot. There's a lot. There's so many alternate subtopics. It's a lot. So the cat is one of those, but this was funny to me. So listen.
It's my husband. Like, I'm not allowed to be in love with somebody. Like, I'm doing what's best for them. So that's why I took the time to make sure that this person, if you look at the conversation between me and this liar, she really, really manipulated me to take this cat so that FFG and her brother could steal it. Don't worry about that. You think that's legal? You think that's morally okay to do?
Okay, well, moral question and legal question are two different things. And then listen, she says, it's crazy thinking. She says that someone lied to her to get her to take poor BBJ. And then when she did accept BBJ to take care of him, she has him put to sleep. Or this French Fried Girl she's a YouTuber, I think. They actually end up taking BBJ so that she doesn't kill BBJ. And so now I think BBJ must be with French Fried Girl. But she's claiming that the original person lied to Foodie Beauty to take BBJ just to set her up for French Fried Girl to take BBJ. Chantal, that's not real. That's not real. It can't be. Now listen to this. This is the thought here. The thought process here is very hard to believe.
I don't think so. Yes, she's fine for an elderly cat. Her health issues, what do you want me to do? Go to the vet and drag her to the vet and prolong her life when she's suffering? What can they do for arthritis? Give her tablets so she's a zombie all day?
Chantal, I have arthritis. I myself have arthritis. I'm just curious. How many of you have arthritis? How many of you are having your life prolonged? Right, Kelly? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So we are prolonging our lives. Here's what I call it. It's better living through modern chemistry, Chantal. It's okay to use the science of the day to prolong life and to reduce swelling, inflammation, suffering. Look, yeah, see, me and Yvette, we want to live a few more years, even though we have arthritis. Big Ups is in the arthritis club, and we are having a great time. I think BBJ could benefit from arthritis treatment. That's okay. It's okay. Better living through modern chemistry. All right, so that gives you an idea. Her thought processes, right? It's hard to take sometimes. Now, I don't know why she spelled it that way. I don't know why she spelled it that way. Okay, so back to our point here. So if I go to videos and we go back to, and she's got nearly 100,000 subscribers. This was a big, highly active channel back in the day. She was raking in cash. Now, let's see, because I'm addressing the extreme weight gain as well as the fancy schmancy apartment upgrade. Okay. So if we go to, here we are, right here. 1 year ago, she is eating bruschetta flatbread in Toronto. She's eating Taco Bell, and she's spreading hot sauce all over her mouth so she gets just the right thumbnail. And she's bringing in some serious views, right? Her first hijab, 49,000 views. That was 8 months ago. 8 months ago, she hadn't even left to go to Cuba. Or maybe she did go to Cuba before. I think she did go to Cuba before she started wearing the hijab. But 8 months, and she had not yet met Saleh in real life. I think she met him in Cuba. She'll probably tell me I'm wrong about that, but she hadn't yet gone to Kuwait. So this is her first hijab 8 months ago. So we go back a little bit, and we're only talking, look at the views. 38,000, 30,000, 27,000, 40, 63,000. Indian food mukbang and talking about my boyfriend. Here's 34,000. Trying Schwartz's Deli Iconic Smoked Meat Sandwich. Here is a 42,000. Comfort Classics Homemade Meatloaf and Tater Tots. Now here she's talking about Lush Kitchen Exclusives November subscription box, 12,000 views. She's looking at Fab Fit and Fun Winter Unboxing, and it's 16,000. But look at what the mukbangs bring in. The mukbangs take it to a whole different level. Bill said, well, I can mukbang. I said, I don't know if it gets the attention that Foodie Beauty gets. But anyway, so here she's eating cheesy chicken parmesan and she's pulling in 58,000 views. That's a big paycheck at the end of the month, okay? So this goes on and on. 68,000 for first time trying Jollibee mukbang. But then when she does a video on Spooky Dinosaur drive-thru, she gets 20,000 views. So there's a pattern here. Would you agree? First time trying Popeye. Love that chicken from Popeyes. All right. So she first time trying Popeye's chicken sandwich mukbang, and she's bringing in 77,000 views. And then she does a, look at the clothes I bought and the fall pumpkin I bought, and that gets 20,000 views. So you're seeing the pattern, correct? The mukbangs, the eating, there's your cash cow. Okay. I know Big Ups is going, I'm totally doing it. Okay. Big money in the whole mukbang thing. Here she did quarantine self-care with new team products. She got 11,000 views. Look over a couple of days later, Thai and crunchy spring rolls mukbang, 41,000. So unhealthy. So a lot of money to be made with the mukbangs. Are we in agreement? Christmas lights, 15,000. Right next, that's the boyfriend. Shrimp fettuccine Alfredo, 37,000. So it's clear. There's no question about it that the eating is the big views, correct? For her, the eating is the big views. So let's look. Okay, so here 8 months ago, this is where she does her first hijab, and it gets her 49,000 views. So probably she's motivated by that. She's like, oh, look here, this is good. I can not eat, a ton of food, and people are interested in this whole Islamic conversion thing. So these videos now are getting, 30,000 views, 28,000 views, 27,000 views. And notice too, it's hard to see because she's got a lot of makeup on. On this one right here. Okay. If you look, you see her eyes are not as swollen. Her face is not as swollen as what it is now. So even this one down here, you can see she's much, much smaller. So she's dieting through this period of time. And then finally, she goes to, I wanted to say Sharm el-Sheikh. That's not right. She went to Kuwait 7 months ago. And so that's when she met Salah for the first time. So pay attention to the views, because that's the point. So when she first goes over and meets, there was a lot of interest. People were very interested. They were really concerned. Maybe they didn't believe that there was a man. I don't know, but lots of attention. So she's still getting really great views. I believe she came back. Okay, so this is Salah. I think a lot of people call him Salad. I don't know why, but I don't know. Anyway, he's very tall. They do go out to the desert all the time, which is a little worrisome because of what those groups in the desert typically do. The desert's an uncomfortable place. There are flies like you just simply cannot imagine. Like you get out of the truck or the car and you're just swarmed by these flies, and you're literally 100 miles from the nearest town. There's no water supply, and you're thinking, how do these flies live? There's nothing out here for them to eat, but yet there they are, and they bite you. The desert is a horrible place, trust me. And not to mention the temperature. It's consistently 105, 106 for days and days. That's not heat index. That's the real deal. And it's for days and days and days. The desert is an unforgiving place, and it is inhospitable. It's miserable to be there. So they do go out there a lot, which is a little worrisome. So 4 months ago, she became a Muslim. I don't know why she put revert. It's a convert. So this is the lovely couple. Now, she has to go to Kuwait. I think it was her travel visa, perhaps, and begin to notice the views. This video only got 7,000 views. So when Salah is courting her, and he's getting online and meeting people for the first time, they're doing great. The money is rolling in. Money is great. It's fine. And then she actually gets there, and you get this dramatic drop in views. And you said, but why? Like, what could have happened? Well, there were a couple of things that happened. One of the things that happened was that, she was learning how to be meek. There's honor in silence. Don't you know that? Quiet, obedient women are the most beautiful women. So that's number one. So it interfered with this relationship that she had developed with her subscribers, with her community. She lost that spontaneity. She was getting double messaging about you can't respond to online drama, which is a big draw. People like to go to her channel and kind of watch her freak out. They liked it when she'd get mad and she'd drag someone for filth, right? Just there's a lot of hate watchers on YouTube, and they do translate into money. They do. I mean, it is a paid day. Just because somebody's watching you, it doesn't mean they have to like you or not. You still get a paycheck. So when she got over there, she's with all of these women, Islamic women. She's going to mosque for the first time, and she's being trained. She's being taught about obedience. And there's a video that she had up. I don't know if it's still up or not, but there's a video that she had up, and she kind of forgets where she is, I think. And she begins to talk in her extroverted fashion, the real Chantal. And she begins to talk, and this asshole literally kicks her leg, literally. And she goes, and he's looking at the camera going. So it's disturbing to watch if you're a, kind of a feminist, or, if you're pro woman, it's very difficult to watch. So that happened. The next thing that happened too, is that she said, I'm not doing any more lives. Everything I'm going to be doing is going to be videos. And they became very produced, very streamlined. You could tell that they were just repeating memorized lines. It lost all the spontaneity. And then, you think, well, it must be interesting to see Kuwait, because Kuwait is a very beautiful city or country. And they don't know how to film. And so you really didn't, it wasn't even really good visually to watch it, right? So she lost. So she lost what she had, which is her personality, Salah. Her personality is what was making you money. So you may want to remember that as you train her to be silent and forget who she is. So then we go to, she got a lot, again, when you look in her lives, there are a lot of Muslim people. So she's getting new people coming in, but it's people that are attracted to the whole Islamic thing. But the views are small. Well, they would be huge for me. Don't get me wrong. If I got, 10,000 views, I'd be on top of the world. I got a couple of videos that got like 30 or 40,000, but consistently getting 10, 15,000 views every time, I'd be on top of the world. But for this woman, that's not even a fraction of what she was making before she met Salah. True. So now, here she did Awful Waffle fast food skit. So this woman goes from 50,000 views for a full video. And her videos previously, she was sharing her life. It was like a vlog, and she's just talking about herself and her challenges that she has in life, her goals and her dreams. And she would be really goofy, sometimes cringy, sometimes angry. But the magic was that it was authentic, right? That was the point of why it could. Listen, anybody can get on camera and eat. I promise you, I could start eating my meals in front of the camera. Nobody would come to watch. Nobody would care. Okay. So, this was a big paycheck for her, and she was herself. And then she gets wrapped up with this joker, and she's being taught how to be a piece of property, and how to be quiet and, seen but not heard. And so now she's reverted to these sorts of videos. Oh, it's not shared. I'm not exactly accomplished at this, am I? Sorry about that. Let me share it. Okay. So now, she's gone from 50,000 views just talking about her life to this.
Waffle of the day, please? Sir, read the sign. We're out of waffles. The only thing I have is a box of Eggos.
Yes, hybrid.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, could you kindly not smoke a dart while serving me? I've got sleep apnea, alright?
I think she's dreaming about THC. I think she's smoking.
I got emphysema, and I ain't complaining
right,
about
Cinnamon?
smoke, so...
Crazy.
Didn't they pass a bylaw about smoking indoors anyway? Can I speak to your manager or supervisor?
So you see, this is not good, right? And let's see, that one got 8,000 views for that one, from a woman who just months ago was getting 30, 40, 50,000 views. Then where's the other one? It's a crazy one she did. Maybe, let's see, maybe it was Oh, let me share the page so y'all can see what I'm looking at. I wonder if she took it down. Maybe she took it down. That's weird. Oh no, here it is. Get ready. This was a month ago she put this up. Got those ads running though.
The only gem I got is a Slim Jim. I really want a cat, but I got a rat. He's cute, I guess. I must confess. We eat cheesies. It's the best. Forget all the rest. I make sick beats. People make fun of my feet. They don't want to see me eat until I can see my feet. Get this on the charts before my diet starts. Your opinions are like farts. Dust in the wind, baby, dust in the wind. I love myself because I can. Call yourself a hater, but now you're a fan. It's my happiness you can't understand. Oh, I
Yeah.
want pizza, baby. I want cream cheese, baby.
So it's fair to say that something is wrong, right? You got this massive weight gain. Everything is a overly produced bad video. There's no more lives. She started up. Let me see when this was. That's another one. That video you just listened to for a woman that's got 100,000 subscribers had 170 thumbs up, as opposed to thousands of thumbs up, which is the kind of the norm, right? So she did start. Okay, right here. All right, so let me share this. So they did start, the doing lives, but they were together, right? He always has to be there when they do their lives. And when you watch, he's got his phone in his hand while she's doing the talking or whatever, and he's watching the chat, and he'll respond, like, so he's watching this video, and you'll see her, and she's looking, she's side-eyeing, right? There's so many red flags here. It scares me to death for this woman, really. So look at her poor little face. She has gained so much weight. It's terrifying, truly. And then there she is with a cam. I love camels. They're nasty creatures, but I love them. They're fun. If you go back to before she moved there, this was her first hijab, the pink and black. Look at her face. She had lost a lot of weight at that point. And she lost even more before she went over there to meet him the first time. So from 7 or 8, I guess 7 months ago to today, it's taken to go from, you can judge her weight by looking at this picture in the pink and the black, because we know when her first hijab was. You see how this is flat here from her cheek and the eye part, the top lid up here. Look at the fat that's around like the orbital area of the eye. Look at it there, and then look at where she is today. You can almost not see her eyes. It's so swollen. When she turns sideways, you can see the top of orbital bone is actually sticking out and the bottom is sticking out. So it's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So he's in this one. Anyway, recently she began going live again. So those were just in the last couple of days. She's alone in this one. She's alone in this one. Alone. Okay. So 2 months ago was the last time they were live together. Right? So now, and that was that there would be no more lives, that all of her stuff would be video, meaning he could see it and watch it before she posted it. And then if she did go live, he was always sitting right next to her monitoring the phone, right? The views just went whomp, like bam, bam, gone. Hardly any views compared to her previous, movement. And then a month ago, she started going live, and in every one of her lives, what's she doing? Eating. Oh, he's in this one from 2 weeks ago. Ugh. You want another word? Smarmy. That's the word. All right. So here is what I think. And here's the latest. So this is the video where.
Let's talk about easy. Like fee-free easy and no minimums easy. Plus, it earns interest easy.
She's going to drink water for 40 days and 40 nights. This after she binged on steak. She said she ate steak and it was way too much. And I thought, it must have been a lot for her to be saying it was too much.
I'm 169 kilos, so I have so much excess weight. I have about, I could weigh maybe like 120 pounds. So
that this is just decoration, that it's ink. So this is where she seems to be locked in her bedroom, and she's only had water to drink all day. And she says that she's going to do 40 days and 40 nights with nothing but water after she ate all this steak the night before, right? But look at her eye. You can see that she has a black eye. You can see right here, you can see it's swollen. You can see back here, it's purple. That son of a bitch hit her. I'm convinced of it. Absolutely convinced.
Like, look at me. I'm 169.
Do you see what I mean about, you can see that wrinkle where if you've ever had a black eye before, you know what I mean by there being that pocket with the crease. And then you can see right along her lash line, it's bruised and swollen, right? I think even if you follow right here, it looks like the top of the cheek here is bruised a little bit. Maybe she's got, makeup over it, but it's much bigger. This side is much bigger than this side.
10 kilos. So I have so much excess weight. I have about, I could weigh maybe like 120 pounds. So I have over 200 pounds, like 250 pounds of excess weight that my body can munch on, that my body can metabolize. The fat stores are there for a reason, right? They're for survival when you have no food. Well, if I keep feeding my body food, my liver will just keep storing glycogen. It will never deplete the resources in my liver.
So I think there's a problem. I'm talking about a bad problem, like maybe she's being locked in the apartment. But I don't know how long ago, maybe a month ago, there was this new apartment, really pretty beautiful. The lobby area is really nice. So here is, wait, these are member live. Here's the one that she did last night. This was her meal from last night. Let me make sure y'all see that. Yep.
On it with Jardians.
Ask your doctor about Jardians.
My eyelashes have grown significantly.
I'm really loving how dark and defined my eyebrows
I
look
stopped
too.
wearing fake eyelashes.
Because much.
So she started with the dessert.
Bismillah.
That's the beginning of the meal. Now, he's not anywhere to be found. In all of these mukbangs, he's nowhere to be found at all. This is new, her going back to the mukbangs and going live by herself. I think, it's my opinion, I think that the misery that she's in, all the eating and everything, I think it's all about that the money that he was counting on, that money that maybe when they were first started talking, she told him how much money she was making with YouTube. He got all excited, really turned on the charm. And now she's over there basically giving him her money, right? But when she got over there, he couldn't resist being, a controlling asshole and said, I gotta see your videos you're putting out. You're not allowed to just go spontaneously live. I have to approve of what you're saying and doing. And it completely, her audience just dropped off. The other part of that too is you have to wonder how many of her audience just couldn't bear to watch the control, how she's so different, and it's a little it's very frightening to watch, to see how dramatically she changed. And here's my whole point of this whole video: how unhealthy this YouTube platform is, how bad it is. And what do I mean? What do people get paid for? Well, you get paid for what people are watching, right? If you put out content a lot of people are watching, you get the paychecks. When you get the paychecks, that reinforces the behavior that you were doing that got a lot of lives, and so you do it again. Well, what if he freaked out because there was no money coming? She was going to the gym. She was walking every day. She was losing weight. She was eating healthy. And now we're back to 2 brownies with chocolate cream, and that's to start your 15,000 calorie meal. If you notice, there's 2 of everything, which makes me think, was Salah supposed to be there and he didn't show up, and so she's going to eat the whole thing? So if your content that gets the most views is you screaming and yelling and fighting with someone and attacking, and then suddenly you get a lot of views, now what are you going to keep doing? You're going to keep doing the drama videos where you're screaming and yelling and attacking people. But it's not people that are interested in what you have to say. It's people that are laughing at you. It's people that are pointing their finger and turning you into a sideshow. So there's something to be said for having some integrity and presenting yourself on social media in a way that you feel proud of. Because I think in this context, she came to she knew, she had the realization, and maybe Salah just realizes that the mukbangs are her payday. The food eating is her cash cow. And when you go back to her early years, when she first started this, she wasn't even close to this size, not even close. But again, you're making a lot of money by eating in front of the camera. It's hard to say no to that. So it seems like maybe Sala was seduced by this, or he's just abandoned her and she's alone most of the time. But she's now gone back to massive quantities of food. And I think it's in an effort to try to get her views up to make more money. I think the money may be at the heart of why they seem to, not be getting along. And she seems frightened.
Let me just do this. This is gonna be oh my gosh. All right. So these are warm walnut fudge brownies with chocolate sauce and some ice cream. Let's see the ice cream. Ooh, it's mostly melted, but there's still some that's not melted, so I'll just put that all together here. Ice cream. Yeah.
So I had a really hard time
Yummy.
watching.
Smells good. Smells chocolatey.
I felt worried and sad. So she
You might hear some
has
hallway kids.
two.
Probably just our neighbors.
There we go. So she has.
We don't have many
two
neighbors on our
big.
floor.
I mean,
there's
I would
three
take one of those
apartments on every
brownies and
floor.
cut it in half or even a third.
Okay, let's try this.
She's got two
With vanilla
brownies
ice cream
and two
in French, it's
containers
called
of
à la
ice
mode.
cream. And then, so she's
Beauty bite.
it's very hard to understand.
Mm.
And notice how
The brownies are
fast
warm.
she's eating.
Doesn't Applebee's have a bad rep
No, it
in
doesn't.
America?
They have great salads.
I've never tried the American one,
It's just like
so I'm
the
not sure.
Egyptian one or the Middle
In
East.
Canada, I don't think we have Applebee's. I think we have like Denny's,
No, you have Applebee's.
which is like a similar place. I can't tell if it's sweet because I just had some brownie. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm eating Applebee's food here.
She poured chocolate syrup into the ice cream. God.
Video.
If you're like me and you've started noticing a little bit of thinning in your hair, then you have got to add Vegamore Grow Revitalize.
Okay, so she's gonna eat this whole
It's not
thing.
just that, like, I'm sure, I don't know, it could throw you to Canada.
Now she's gonna go to the appetizer. So the main
Not for
meal is
citizenship
still not
reasons.
even opened.
There's like no, why not start now? Well, because no.
She's talking about now
All right.
another diet. 2 days
Cheesesteaks,
ago,
I don't think the cheese
dieting.
bowl will be there because it's been like cheesesteaks for the ultimate cheese bowl right out of the fryer. Yeah. Marinara sauce is really good. And the breading is seasoned.
I really believe this is about cash.
Back
She's gonna kill herself with this
for a
food,
bit.
but it's in pursuit of cash, money, views. Because
I have
she
to book
was
a hotel.
really doing good with the exercise
one in
and
France.
eating healthy. She was really doing great. And now we're here. So a full appetizer plate.
The more I take the plate and the more I travel, the more I become tolerant of it.
And when she flies, she refuses
finding
to buy
myself.
a second seat. Do you want to be sitting next to her on an airplane? I would be furious, and that's not fat shaming, but those airplane seats are already so tiny. I don't know how you could fit in your seat if she's next to you.
I'm already stuffed.
But
What is this?
She will not buy a second seat.
Oh,
she says
that's
it's
the
not
sauce I
right.
just dumped away. Am I an idiot?
But
Yes.
she weighs 500 pounds, 550 pounds.
That's a really good marinara
That's like
sauce.
3 people, 3
Tastes
small
more like a thick
people
pizza
or
sauce.
2 man-sized people, right?
Anyway, so once I start the diet,
food and
Okay, so this is 2 chicken fried steak cutlets and probably 2 cups of mashed potatoes and 2 cups of broccoli. And when she finishes eating this, the only thing that's left on this plate is broccoli. She wasn't doing this previously. And I mean, if you let's see. Okay, take a minute here.
and never letting someone provoke you to make you angry.
Oh yeah, this was a nice speech.
And it's not easy. Oh my gosh. It's not easy not responding when you're provoked. But there's so much power in it.
See, they're manipulating
Of course.
her. They're telling her that her silence, not pushing back, that is her special power. That powerful women, they just take it. They don't answer back. I'm a really weak woman, I think.
Sitting in silence. And never letting someone provoke you to make you angry.
Now, I want to draw attention.
So I'll continue to.
So she just finishes saying, that she's learning not to let people provoke you and that there's strength and silence and it's
Work on that.
it's okay and it's healthy to just not respond, just push it down, right? As she is gorging, she didn't even eat the early food. She wasn't eating like in this kind of emotional, kind of overwhelming way. But look at the size of these bites that she's cutting. She can barely get it in her mouth as she's talking about swallow your feelings. Don't talk about your feelings. Don't try to fix problems. Just accept when these injustices. And yet we can see how she's processing emotion, right? That I think she's gonna have to get away from him, or this is gonna kill her. Her body can't sustain this much longer. I am very concerned about her. You see the size of that? And she chews it like 4 times or 5 times and swallows. It's one of the saddest things I've seen. I'm really worried about her. She's over there and she doesn't know anyone but Sala. That's it. Nobody. She doesn't know anybody to ask for help from.
And continue
Look
to
at
ask
the
for the
size of that
strength.
meat right there. And then
this is my agency Future Formula bottle. This is how I get my tretinoin now. When I first started on Retin-A,
Some dietitian, so
okay. So I think that's it. I don't think she eats there's some carrots and zucchini and some broccoli. There's one bite of chicken and there's this I don't remember if she eats that or not.
I'm actually really surprised by the quality of the food. I always heard bad things about Applebee's.
Ugh.
So this will be really, really exciting for me. The pre-adventure to the adventure. And you guys will never guess where we're going. If you want to guess, comment below. But I'm going to reveal the surprise probably when our first vlog when we're on our way there.
That was really good. I'm so full.
She looks miserable. Can we be honest? She does. If you kind of catch, she's got a little micro expression. She doesn't feel good. There's no way that she's comfortable eating. This is not the typical amount. Like I said, before she went over there, and then the first, I guess, month or so that she's there, she was getting out. She was walking every day. They had some video where they were out in the desert and she was actually running and kicking a soccer ball. And now she's alone and doing these enormous mukbang. There's another one. And then I'm going to be done with this. I don't think I looked at this one. I can't watch them. It makes me feel nauseated.
So I'm happy for that. And then this jalapenos. Okay.
Food, isn't it?
This looks like Indian pickles. All right. Sauces.
Okay. So
We're
we're not going to
ketchup.
sit here and watch.
Constructed with the help of Nash.
Okay, so she ate all the egg rolls, right? She
It's
ate all the
like
egg rolls.
sometimes comes at the cost of, innocent life. Even if they lost communication, say that malfunctioned, but nothing else was wrong, they could still come up, right? So something wasn't working.
Oh, she's talking about the
And
Titan
everyone has a bad
submarine
feeling about
or submersible.
it. Watching it.
Love steak, love lobster.
Okay.
Can't
So,
choose.
didn't finish all
Well,
that.
you'll love our
So my point of this, is kind of twofold. Number one is, my concern that this whole YouTube platform, probably not just YouTube, but social media in general, that the reimbursement, the remuneration is based on views. However, people tend to flock toward the train wrecks, right? If you go down the highway and you're driving and you see beautiful flowers and everything, you don't put your brakes on so you can stop and admire the pretty flowers or the statue. You just drive by. But if there's a car accident, what do? Put your brakes on, you're rubbernecking, you're trying to see, oh, there's a disaster. And so just general nature, we tend to watch more the things that are troublesome, I guess, would be a good answer. And so the fact that the way that the remuneration is set up is for the views, then I think that these unhealthy things that are happening on certain channels, those channels get a lot of the algorithm movement. And then the reward comes by way of your paycheck. And if you sit back and you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to be healthy, you're trying to exercise, and you're doing great, and then you get your paycheck and it's 1/3 of what it usually is, and you go, oh my God, what happened? And you go, well, nobody's watching my exercise videos. Nobody's watching my, mukbangs where I'm eating salad and, baked chicken. I need to go back to, oh my God, I'm going to die if I eat this. And then you go back up to 50, 60,000 views and suddenly you're making $10,000, $20,000 a month again. So I'm really worried about Chantal. I don't know if she would leave anyway, but it would be nice to know that she at least had her passport and that he did not confiscate her passport, which is very common in the Middle East for the women's passports to be taken. So, what do y'all think about? What do y'all think about this idea that maybe the views and the thing that gets the views being usually, unhealthy behaviors or whatever, how many people watch Dawn Wells and Candace Wells go off the rails? How many people? Those videos were, the views on those videos of these poor people that were so deep in active addiction, and they were living in I wouldn't want my dog living in that house. I'm not making a joke. I would not be happy about, my animals living there. And yet we had a whole family with children. And that got all the views. So I know, I sound a little bit like a goody two shoe, and I'm not really saying this from the viewpoint of everybody ought to, be more healthy and only watch healthy content, because that's not realistic. But really, it was more of thinking about, I think as a creator, I think we all have to kind of be aware that that what we're doing on our channels, that maybe we should be a little discerning and kind of be a little careful, and not. I've gotten angry before on my channel. I've done the whole attack thing. But I did, I said, oh, this is too, I may think I'm in the privacy of my own home, but I'm not. It's really public, so anyway, I'm worried about her. I think the need for money, you are rewarded. Have y'all looked at the drama channels? Drama makes a lot of money. Get into an argument on YouTube and watch your views go up. It is true. So, it's even the true crime genre. That's probably one of the genres on YouTube that is probably the easiest to break into, because people naturally are attracted, like I said, to the train wrecks, to the problems. Definitely true crime gets more views than the knitting community, right? So I don't know. It just need to be a little bit careful, I think, about what I put out. Many people were just watching Titan instead. She should fake eat and make fitness video too, if possible. It is in her setting, in her situation, Jetta, you have the additional problem of Salah, and the culture, the fact that she did not know him, and she went over there after only knowing him like 7 months, married him. Now she's alone, you don't hardly ever hear him there. She's obviously in misery. And now she goes from drinking water one day saying, oh, I'm going to drink water 40 days, 40 nights, not going to eat, to now she's eating copious amounts of food, enough to I'll be honest with you, if me or you ate that amount of food, we would have to go to the hospital. It would be that bad for us. So I think she's locked in an apartment, and it's a nice apartment. And I think that was her balance. I think she said, don't be mad at me. What if we got a nicer apartment? And so he took her up on that. And now all she's doing is she's just trying desperately to make the money to pay for the apartment. And if she can't make the money, they lose the apartment, then she's got to deal with Salah angry and aggressive in an Islamic country. So I'm worried about her. And I know there's a lot of people that have built up YouTube channels by hate watching her or doing reaction videos to her content. You might want to start watching again, because things could be about to go off the rails. So it's really worrisome, scary. I watch true crime, which is weird. Sketty, no. We all watch true crime. We all like it. I hope she finds this video and is moved by your sincere compassion and concern and takes positive change. She did watch the previous video that I did before she went over to Kuwait. I actually tried to talk her out of going, I did it. I don't know her. Don't get me wrong. I don't know her, anything like that. But I did a video about it, and I showed statistics. I showed individual stories of Western women that ended up getting, sucked into the madness and ended up in Kuwait or Syria or Iraq or whatever. I showed white papers from the State Department. I have anecdotal stories of my own time in Egypt and things that I saw and experienced myself. And I really tried to impress, thinking if she ever finds this video, maybe she doesn't know anybody else to give her that word of caution. And I even told her, if I remember correctly in the video, I think I gave a phone number to the, I think there was a phone number to the terrorism, maybe it was the Immigration and Naturalization Service, because you can call and you can give them the name of the people that in the Middle East, and they will tell you if they're on any kind of watch list or no-fly list or anything like that, if they have known connections to the Muslim Brotherhood. And so, while we were doing that video, she came into the live and she was angry. She said I was stupid and said that I didn't know what I was talking about and that I was jealous. She was not open to. So I would bet she probably didn't call, so. Would you explain why people enjoy watching overeating? Is it kinky or perversion? Is it shock? Well, I think it's probably all of the above, really. It's food, eating is a sensual activity with not gallons of food. Don't get me wrong. But there's, for some people that food can be sensual, seductive. But this is different. Like you said, this is more of like a perversion of that because it's just so much. Also, people want to understand the things that are unusual to them. And I think it's fair to say the majority of us, we don't know people that weigh 500-600 pounds. There's not that many of them that are that large. So some of it is curiosity. Some of them, it's morbid fascination. It's just so different. I knew somebody one time who said that in order for her to stay on her diet, she would watch the videos of, very large people eating on YouTube because it would make her scared, that she didn't want to look like them or whatever. So there's all of the above. People watch for all different reasons. She also, Foodie Beauty, also has a large group of people that genuinely love her. There's a large group of people that are supportive of her and they like her very much, and they want her to be happy and okay. So it's not all hate watching. Don't get me wrong. But I do think if you look at the difference between the views that she's getting when she does like her exercise or like sightseeing videos compared to now the views she's getting on these large mukbangs, that's the addition is probably hate watchers, right? So if you have like 18,000 views when you're doing your sightseeing, those are probably people that are your friends and they like you. But then when you do one of these massive mukbangs, now you're up to 50,000 views. That's probably 10,000 haters. Still brings in cash. And if you're getting 30, 40, 50,000 views in YouTube, you're making a lot of money. That is a good paycheck. Like that's the paycheck that licensed professionals make. as salary. So, but here's something else I think that creators have to realize. How many people have you known on YouTube that reached that level of productivity and lasted? These YouTube channels go up and down, and you may be on top 1 minute and then you may be losing views on the next minute and have no idea why. It's the reality. I think we've had more than 2 YouTubers in the last 3 or 4 years that have committed suicide after their subscriber list fell off and their views went down. I think they were young, and I think they believed, look at me, I'm the next PewDiePie. Well, there's only one PewDiePie, right? But look at me, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be able to have this long career. And then I think when the views and stuff fall off, they don't know what to do because it's like they're frantic. And that's where you start seeing these odd behaviors, and they get more extreme trying to attract back these people. So I do think if any creators that get in on this, number one, the money is temporary. I think that is absolute certainty. And number two, it's not going to go on forever. Let's face it. If you're a young gamer, you're getting a lot more views than old ladies, right? I mean, that's a reality. So it's temporary, and so I hope she's okay. I'd really like to see her. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to come back to Canada. He's going to make the trip over, and they're going to be like, oh, it's his first time traveling. And then she's going to sponsor him, and now he's going to be living in Canada. And I think that was the whole goal of what he was doing, why he's with her anyway, right? But at this point, I think that's the way to go. At least she can pick up the phone and call the police if she needs help. Or I don't think she has a very good relationship with her mom. I had never heard her say anything about her mom, but some of the other creators that do like reaction videos to Foodie Beauty, they make comments about her mom and how, she won't go stay at her mom's house, but I don't know the story. That's just some of these channels that follow her. They've been watching her for years and years. I mean, they know every subtle detail of her life. I don't even come close. I'll just peek in, kind of watch for a little while and then leave, mostly looking to see if my concerns about Salah were correct. And I think he's a bad guy. I do believe that. Cali Connect, underneath all that weight is a woman who looks like Britney Spears. That's right. Because you walking around carrying 250, 300 pounds all the time, that's like me and you staying in a gym all day, right? So yeah, you're right. Her muscles are beast underneath all that weight, for sure. I have not seen her channel. I value insight. I hope she can find her path. Me too. I'm really, really worried about her. And like I said, I think best case scenario at this point, come back to Canada, bring Salah, that's fine, because at least you are in a country where you can get help if you need it. I don't think she can get help in Kuwait. That's exactly right, Kelly. Yep. It's a lot of weight. And that brings up the other point about this mukbang and her channel views that have dropped so dramatically. And now she's eating this bizarre amount of food. She didn't even eat that much previously when she was getting a lot of views. I really believe she's chasing views. I believe that in my heart. And I think that one of the problems between she and Salah is he was like, why aren't you getting views anymore? What happened to your big paychecks that you were making? Okay, Salah, I'll tell you, Number one, you told her to shut up. You wouldn't let her talk. You wouldn't let her real personality come out, which people thought was interesting. She was a funny woman before you came along. There's number one. Number two, most women can't stomach watching another woman being abused and handled by a man. So there you go, buddy. I'm a very bad female, Salah. Makes me mad. She shouldn't be eating those foods at all. Oh, yeah, well, no. We have to be there has to be grace, right? There has to be no one, let me put it this way. Nobody gets out of this world without having struggles and challenges. We're all carrying our own albatross. Every one of us has something we're carrying that is bad for us and unhealthy and hard. Sometimes people learn to exercise to manage their depression or their anxiety. Some people learn to drink vodka or Jack Daniels or beer when they have depression or anxiety. Some people learn to use pills or smoke weed or whatever. And then some people learn to use food. And food absolutely can alter your levels of neurotransmitters. Certain foods can increase serotonin. Certain types of foods can cause your dopamine to spike. So it's not unusual that there are some people that perhaps never learned any type of healthy coping style skill. And they were told, sit down, be quiet, here, eat this, and go watch TV and leave me alone. And if that's the way that you're raised, then when you're having trouble, you go grab a pint of ice cream and make yourself feel better. And it does work by changing the neurotransmitters. It's not technically about the food in your stomach or the taste of it. It is the adjustment of neurotransmitters after that food is beginning to be metabolized. Just like smoking weed or going shopping or having illicit sex, or, all of these are things that change your levels of neurotransmitters. The goal becomes, even if you're raised in a way that you don't develop these healthy behaviors, you can always learn them. You're never too old to learn how to take care of yourself in a healthy fashion rather than unhealthy. There's plenty of people in the world that stopped drinking a pint of, vodka every day and learned how instead to go for a walk, or if they have a bad day, take a hot bath, or whatever their self-soothing tool is. Sometimes I teach a lot of diaphragmatic breathing. I teach a lot of games for children where they're either using progressive muscle relaxation or modified diaphragmatic breathing that looks like a game to them. It looks like play, but it's actually changing the amount of oxygen, that is getting to their brain, and oxygen is relaxing to your brain. And wonderful. And I'll see you. I don't know when. I would be lying if I told you that I would be back at a certain day, because as I go through in my mind, it's not going to happen on Saturday. It's not going to happen on Sunday. It's possible that I'll be back Monday evening. For sure, next weekend, I'll be here. And things will be better next weekend. But this weekend, another weekend that I got other responsibilities. So All right. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you'll share the video on your social media. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. If you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up. Please do. And other than that, I hope that your Friday night is wild and crazy.